Tuesday, June 28th. Unexpected Detour 1. The Valley. Psalm 23:4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. It would be nice if the paths of righteousness wound their way only along the grass-covered banks of cool streams. But that is not the way David paints it. Also, along these paths is the valley of the shadow of death, not a place that we are eager to visit. At certain times of the year, the wadis and ravines found in Israel are prone to flash floods that can come unexpectedly and prove overwhelming. These places also are characteristically narrow, with steep sides that block out the light. Hence, the shadow of death is an image for very deep shadow or deep darkness. Think about the times you have been in your own valley of the shadow of death. What has it been like? Did you have fear, even though you knew that the shepherd was there? Which Bible texts were most precious to you at that time, and why? How do you think the sheep ended up in the valley? Do you think the sheep went there on their own, or did the shepherd lead the sheep that way himself? Justify your answer. Elisabeth Elliot writes in her book, The Quest for Love, page 218, "A lamb who found himself in the valley of the shadow of death might conclude that he had been safely led. It was needful for him to traverse that darkness in order to learn not to fear. The shepherd is still with him." Have you ever felt that you have been falsely led into the valley? How did you respond to God during this time? Why did you think the shepherd might be willing to risk being misunderstood by permitting us to enter a dark valley? From the book Selected Messages, Book 2, page 274, it says, "Those who have borne the greatest sorrows are frequently the ones who carry the greatest comfort to others, bringing sunshine wherever they go. Such ones have been chastened and sweetened by their afflictions. They did not lose confidence in God when trouble assailed them, but clung closer to His protecting love. Such ones are a living proof of the tender care of God, who makes the darkness as well as the light, and chastens us for our good. Christ is the light of the world. In Him is no darkness." Precious light. Let us live in that light. Bid adieu to sadness and repining. Rejoice in the Lord always. And again I say, rejoice. Selected Messages, Book 1, pages 28 to 29, it says, "The word is, go forward. Discharge your individual duty and leave all consequences in the hands of God. If we move forward where Jesus leads the way, we shall see His triumph. We shall share His joy. We must share the conflicts if we wear the crown of victory. Like Jesus, we must be made perfect through suffering. Had Christ's life been one of ease, then might we safely yield to sloth. Since His life was marked with continual self-denial, suffering, and self-sacrifice, we shall make no complaint if we are partakers with Him. We can walk safely in the darkest path if we have the light of the world for our guide." And from the book The Ministry of Healing, pages 478 and 479, it says, "Let us remember that the life of God's children in this world is a pilgrim life. We have not wisdom to plan our own lives. It is not for us to shape our future. Hebrews 11:8 says, "By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whither he went." Too many, in planning for a brilliant future, make an utter failure. Let God plan for you. As a little child, trust to the guidance of him who will keep the feet of his saints. 1 Samuel 2:9. God never leads his children otherwise than they would choose to be led, if they could see the end from the beginning and discern the glory of the purpose which they are fulfilling as co-workers with him. God bless.